I want to go a level 3 pails and rails bilateral, get both hips working, and then we're going to load up ankle weights, going to go back on for some of our favorite hover challenges. Here's what we've got. Bear sit position, level 3 pails and rails. Kick all this stuff out of the way, come into a bear sit. So bear sit position, I want you to take both arms, strap onto the shins, use your elbows and bow the stretch. Use the elbows to press out into the knees until you find a nice stretch in the groin. From there, to further deepen the stretch, anteriorly pelvic tilt, try and lift that low back into extension, pry that chest up. Start your breathing again, about 2 minutes in the stretch. I'm not timing it today, but slow breaths. Breath in, breath out. The goal of the breathing here, relax deeper and deeper into this hip abduction. Let those knees sink wider. Let that belly lift more and more into extension. Get the knees behind you if you can. As you breathe here, think about what goes into bear sit. Obviously, hip abduction, there's some hip rotation, but there's a lot of hip flexion. Your knees are really up towards the belly here, towards the chest. So what I want to do while we spend this 2 minutes in the stretch, before we do our abduction pails and rails, let's sneak in a little positional isometric for hip flexion. If you can, you're going to reach forward and grab your heels. Try and maintain that spine position if you can. Anterior tilt, lift that belly, keep those knees out. In this position, breath in, squeeze your glutes gently, but start pushing your feet forward, trying to drive your legs away from you. Should feel glutes, high hamstrings. Push, push, push. 10 seconds. Not too high tension here. Just teaching ourselves to feel all this tension working to push out of the stretch. 3, 2, 1. Think quasi rails. Can you drag your knees behind you while pulling yourself taller into extension, trying to lift your feet away from your hands? 3, 2, and relax. Gonna do that one more time. Can load hip flexion here in our bear sit. Get tall, breath in, squeeze glutes. Start pushing round 2, quasi pail. Drive your feet into your hands. If you can't reach your hands, you can always put your feet on the wall or the couch. Drive away. 5, 4, 3, 2, quasi rails. Try and pull your knees behind you. Try and lift your feet away from your hands while sitting taller. 3, 2, 1. Relax into the stretch. Grab back onto those shins. Bend those elbows. Press out on those knees. Sit up a little bit taller. Now that we've prepped all that hip flexion, should be a little bit easier to sit here. Really drive those knees out, find a deeper stretch for hip abduction. A few more breaths, and then we're into our level 3 pails and rails. Breath in, breath out. Not starting yet, but your pails effort is going to be trying to squeeze knees and feet into your arms as if you're trying to close your legs together. Really going to strengthen groin here. Our rails effort, going to be trying to pull our knees and our feet wider, strengthen those outer glutes. 2 rounds, same idea as our shoulders. First one, 70%. Second one, up to a max effort set. Breath in or radiate your tension. Start gently at first, squeezing your knees and your feet into your arms. Fight, 5%, 10%. Ramp up your effort, 20%. Stay tall throughout. 30%, 40, keep going. 50, groin is going to work hard. 60%, 70%, shakes kick in. Fight, 5, 4, 3, 2, rails, pull your knees wider, your feet wider, get taller. 3, 2, 1, sink into a deeper stretch. Let your thighs relax behind you. Puff your chest prouder. One more round, greatest, safest effort. Gently at first, start squeezing those knees in. High tension, feel that groin. 10%, more. 20%, ramp up that tension. 30%, get your upper body involved. 40%, 50%, keep going. 60, find that 70% effort. That's where those shakes, that strength kicks in. 80% if it's pain-free. 90, find your greatest, safest pain-free effort. Total body working. 5, 4, 3, 2, rails, pull those legs wider, sit up taller, pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, relax into bear sit down, regulate your nervous system, melt. Sit up tall though, maintain your spine, let those thighs relax. Let that nervous system calm all the way back down to 0. Level 3 pails and rails, I'm sweating. High tension isometrics are always so tough, but we gotta load up. To save the work, grab that ankle weight. We've got some fun hovers. We're staying in bear sit. If you've got both ankle weights, they're both on. If you need to go all right leg, then switch all left. Just pause as we go. That's okay. I'm going to cue Danny through all of these. Now, I'm going to warn you, all of these hovers are very tough without ankle weights. With ankle weights, they're really tough. Danny is going to be hovering a yoga block. You could definitely go without the block and just hover imaginary targets. Very tough. 3 reps of everything. It's kind of the hip Macarena today. What we're going to do, first 3 reps, a unilateral hover from bear sit into straddle. So it's a knee extension hover in this hip flexed and abducted position. It's hard. So yoga block, 2 options, can go vertical, could go long ways. Long ways will be tougher than you think. Notice what Danny's done with her hands, one inside, one outside. You can play with this. Honestly, I don't really care. Set up such as you need to that you can clear this block. Now, if you try this and something feels painful, get rid of the blocks, go all of it unloaded today. Big breath in, Danny, irradiate. First step, lift up knee and foot, hinge knee straight, rotate, decelerate down. That makes it look so easy, doesn't it? Lift up, rotate, squeeze knee back, decelerate down. So a slight regression, maybe this hand goes here, that hand post behind you, lean a little bit away. Try from there, Danny. Lift up, hinge knee, rotate, decelerate, maybe a little bit easier, still so tough. Lift up, externally rotate, squeeze knee over, set down. So if that was easy, come back into it, Danny. One more rep. Really irradiate. Get that tension, total body. Lift up knee and foot, hinge knee straight, rotate, decelerate. Don't slam down. Great job. Lift up, got to come back. Rotate, squeeze, decelerate. Done with our unilateral straddle hovers. This one, hand's going to come behind you, Danny. We're going to bring the yoga block inside like this. Now, again, this is tough. It's a little tricky to see, so we'll show you a demo, and then we'll jump in with our 3 over the block. This is now a unilateral hover to a single leg butterfly. So it's going to be lifting up, squeezing foot in, decelerating down slowly. So that's half the hover. Again, it's going to be over a yoga block. We'll show you here. Lift up, Danny. Hinge knee over, set down into bear sit. Again, do not have to use the yoga block. This time, yoga block's going horizontal. It's hard here. Breath in, irradiate tension, lift up, squeeze knee, squeeze knee, squeeze knee. Just inside that block, set down. Don't rush. Lift up. Feel that groin, hinge out, decelerate. 2 more. Again, if you need to, post back a little more. Soften those elbows. Adduct, lift up, squeeze knee in, decelerate down. Lift up, gotta come back. We got 1 more of these. Take a moment, irradiate tension, breath in. Lift up, squeeze foot in, slow, slow, slow. Control that descent. As you lift, make sure it's knee and foot together. Don't let your knee jump up too high. Lift foot and knee, hinge back to bear sit, decelerate down. Going to give that right hip a break onto the left. So same 2 now for the left. First hovering into knee extension, second hovering into knee flexion. So much going on here. Hip flexion, hip adduction, hip rotation, knee extension, knee flexion. You're working a lot. So again, can regress, hands posted away as much as necessary. This hand goes behind the thigh, that hand comes inside. Yoga block's going to go here or here. Play with it. Could always go imaginary target. Take a moment, irradiate, just 3 of these. Lift up, hinge knee straight, rotate, decelerate. They are so hard, that rotation at the end. So tough to control. Lift, rotate out, squeeze back, set down, soft. Can always reconfigure here. Rock your hands back a little, Danny. Can always lean away. The further the torso is from the thigh that's moving, the easier. Lift up, hinge knee straight, rotate, decelerate, control it as best you can. Don't worry about how high the leg gets, more about that rotation. Lift up, turn, squeeze back, set down. Just 1 more of these. Gotta lift up, gotta hinge, gotta internally rotate, control that descent. Come back last time. Lifting up, squeezing out, squeezing in, set down. So breathe here, relax if you need to. We got those butterfly hovers next. Yoga block goes just inside the foot. I would suggest horizontal. We're not going to show you one. I know it's a little tricky to see, but you're trying to lift, hinge the knee into flexion, set down with the foot right here. Go slow. They're so tough. I know. Big breath in, irradiate, lift knee and foot, squeeze in, squeeze in, squeeze in, set down soft. For me at least, and I'm not sure about you, it should be easier getting into this one. As you go into that knee extension, really tough, especially loaded. So lift, hinge back over, decelerate back down, only doing 3. Lift knee and foot, squeeze over, decelerate down, go slow. Eye of the tiger for Danny here. Lift up, hinge back, breathe through that stuff, Danny. Just 1 more here. Heavy in those hands, lift up that leg, squeeze that knee in, decelerate down. Got to come back last time. Lifting up, squeezing over, set down soft. Yoga block out of the way. All right, we're done with those butterfly hovers, but I'm mean because we need to get back into butterfly for the next hover challenge. 1 more rep. Right leg first, Danny. Lift up, squeeze in, slow, 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 set down. Left leg, lift up, squeeze in, so slow, heel to heel, foot to foot. Find your butterfly position. Take a moment, breath in, breath out. If your butterfly is limited, you could definitely feel free to elevate 1 knee here as much as necessary, but 2 challenges. First one is called a zone 2 figure 4 hover. Think of figure 4 being the leg straight out, the leg bent in. We're going to go into this position, that zone 2 of hip flexion. The way we do it, yoga block's going to go right outside our shin. Not starting yet, but Danny's going to be lifting her foot, hinging her knee over, rotating to set down. You know what? I'm jealous. I'm going to jump in, join you here without the ankle weights. Yoga block goes right outside our right shin. Hands will prop back, keep your chest proud to regress, bend your elbows. 3 reps together, jump in with us. Gonna lift right foot and knee, hover over that target, then internally rotate, set down soft, kind of like a half straddle. Gotta come back, lift up, externally rotate, squeeze over, set down soft. I'm looking at this like it's a little easy, and then I look over, and Danny's got on the ankle weights, and it shows me why. I'm cheating a little bit. What I'm gonna do to make it harder, since I'm going without the weights, I'll go no hands. Rep 2, spicy. Lift up right foot, hinge over, internally rotate, set down. Take your time, gotta come back, lift up, externally rotate, squeeze. Not so easy for me without the hands. Just one more. Lift up, hinge over, decelerate down. This time though, stay there. What I want you to do, take the yoga block now vertical, and what we're gonna get is a few reps of now kind of that zone 1 hip flexion hover. 3 reps of hovering over to a traditional figure 4 and back. Again, hands can be down, but if you're going without the weights, make it tough. Go without the hands. Lift that leg up, hover all the way into that foot, set down, take a second, kind of straighten that block out, bring it next to that outer knee, Danny, a little bit lower. Rep 2, tension, lift up, hover out, hover out, hover out, decelerate. Tougher than you think. Just 3 of these. Lift up, hover in, hover in, hover in, set down. Lift out, hover, decelerate. Danny, we're gonna come back and stay in that half figure 4. Lift up, squeeze in, set down. Okay, let's just go ahead and get all 3 the opposite side. Go ahead, bring that foot in. All right, yoga block now outside that left shin. Let's jump in. We've got that zone 2 figure 4 hover. I'm gonna go all through without the hands. If you're using ankle weights, keep your hands on the ground. You probably don't need me to tell you that. Breath in, high tension, lift up knee and foot. Hover out, internally rotate, decelerate down. Try not to slam your foot. Lift up, turn out, squeeze in, squeeze in, squeeze in, clear block, decelerate. Tough. Breath in, tension, rep 2, lift up, hinge out, internally rotate as you lock that knee. Decelerate, gotta come back, puff that chest, lift, turn, squeeze, decelerate. One more, Danny. Breath in, high tension, lifting up, hinge out, decelerate. So same idea, take that yoga block, point it straight for me. Let's get our hip flexion hovers. Tension here, lift that leg up, squeeze into that foot, set down, can straighten that block out. Let's get our 3. Lift up, rep 2, hover out, decelerate. Gotta come back, lift up, hover in, decelerate. One more, lift up, hover out, soft on the way down. Gotta come back, lift up, squeeze in, decelerate. I don't know about you, but I didn't have to wear those ankle weights and that was still tough. You're gonna feel this for the next day or 2. What I wanna do, let's make sure we cool things down a little. Can't just run out of class after loaded hovers. So come into a straddle position. Not gonna make you do some level 3 pails and rails, don't worry about it, but take those ankle weights off and let's get in the straddle. So sit up nice and tall. All I really wanna get here, about 10 breaths in, 10 breaths out. Nice soft breath in, nice soft breath out. Good time to maybe cool things down. You can get some little axial rotations of the hips. Maybe you can turn towards one thigh, turn towards the opposite thigh. You can kind of walk your way into the beginning of a pancake stretch, but just breathe here. Let everything relax. So much tough training on those hips. Try and just teach your thighs to sink through the floor, just getting heavy. Soft breath in, soft breath out. In this position, notice the stretch. How does it feel? I don't know how your straddle typically feels, but you just did a lot of work getting in and out of hip abduction. Hips should feel pretty good. So as you progress breathing here, start tiptoeing maybe a little bit deeper into a stretch. Maybe bring your feet a little bit wider than you could typically, but really sit deeper. Last few breaths here, just breathe. Soft breath in, soft breath out. And then again, this week, we're really just introducing you into loaded training, how to start building all these weights into our work. Hope you enjoyed it. Super fun class. Again, I think you're gonna feel it. A lot of tough loaded options coming later. Drop us some feedback. Let us know how you did.